Look, sorry, I just needed to let that out.
Yeah. You're enjoying The Mandalorian, are you?
Look, it's okay. Look, this isn't the worst episode of a Star Wars show we've ever gotten. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. It's not. I have some big issues with this episode. There's a lot of things about it that are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Spoiler alert, this episode's probably a win for me. But it's got some red. It's got some red in its ledger.
Red in the ledger.
Also, it's worth noting that from what we were... Do you remember we talked on the news show about how The Mandalorian was getting its like lowest ratings that it had its entire series?
Yep.
Yeah, those are down another 25%. The viewership is down another 25%.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
Yeah, that's Brady.
Oh.
And it's the B team.
Yeah. That's Carl.
Hey-oh.
And we're here talking about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5. The Pirate.
The Pirate.
I guess. It's a lazy name, but it's fine. Look, some really cool things happen in this episode.
Yeah,
we
get
really
some nice
cool things.
Payoffs from some past episodes.
We see Zeb.
Yeah.
We see live action Zeb, and I'm telling you...
For all those Rebels fans.
Zeb
Have you seen Rebels yet?
I have. Zeb looks really good live action.
Oh, yeah. They blew the CGI budget on Zeb, I think.
Like, he looked so good. I hope we get
apparently,
more.
I thought this was interesting. Apparently, they did facial mocap for Zeb's voice acting guy for this role.
Performance capture.
Yeah. Which they haven't done with a number of other characters that they've CGI'd.
They should always be doing performance
don't look
capture.
As good, and probably that's probably why he looks so much better.
Yeah. I will say though that
big purple alien.
part of Zeb's appearance is my first major issue with this episode. I don't know if I'm the only one that caught it. Yeah. So you caught it as well? Good luck.
It wasn't Zeb as the member berry. It was something else.
Oh no, it was Zeb saying, "Good luck. You're gonna need it." And I'm like, seriously? Seriously? What Han Solo says to Lando in Return of the Jedi? Good luck.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it. I was just like, that's not even like, I don't know. It'd be one thing if I've got a bad feeling about this. You want that in Star Wars. That is the one line that anybody can say at any point in Star Wars, and we will all drink the Kool-Aid and go, yes, it's Star Wars. But I don't know. It's like, this to me is almost as bad. It's not as bad, but it's almost as bad as if when Carl Weathers was sending his thing off to the Republic, he says, "Please help us. You're our only hope." That would have pissed me off royally.
Yeah.
And this was close to that.
I can sort of, I didn't even catch that. I mean, that kind of connection. But it does, like, if you've watched Rebels, him saying that totally fits with his character.
For sure, but it's already...
yeah, I hear what you're saying, though.
It's already another character's line.
Pardon?
It's already another character's line.
But
they're just
if you're going to give it to anybody, I think within kind of this universe to say again, I feel like Zeb's probably going to be one of the top characters, you're going to get to say the line again.
It does make sense that he's New Republic. That was like a nice progression of like, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I can see that. Like, he was integral in the Rebels episode or series.
Forming of the
rebellion,
resistance,
Rebel Alliance,
the rebellion. Yeah.
Yep. So we get to see Navarro.
Sorry, real quick too. Like, we see Zeb here, and then we'll probably talk about this next week in our news episode. But we just got the Ahsoka trailer drop, and there are a whole bunch of other characters from the Ghost crew in that trailer. Mm-hmm. So we might see Zeb again in Ahsoka.
Also, we're going to talk about it on the news next week, but it's worth noting we do see the back of Thrawn's head.
Yeah.
And all of the nerds cried out in glee.
Like, well, there were a number of things that would cause nerds to cry out in glee in that trailer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're back on Tatooine.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, we're back on Tatooine. And, no, just kidding. We're back on Navarro. And Navarro's booming, right? You've got Carl Weathers there, and he's like, they're
doing a good job.
Yeah, they're looking at a hologram of like future development, and they're like, move
planning
this up
out
here.
The city. They're playing Sim City with Navarro,
basically, and then all of a sudden there is a pirate invasion that happens.
Yep. That's part of the new Sim City expansion pack.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the leader of the pirates on the old telephonic device there,
Davy Jones.
He looked great.
Face.
He looked great. He's clearly seemed to me like a practical puppet.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see new alien species in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. This one seems like a weird mashup of like a Pizza the Hut and Davy Jones.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Who is I'm trying to think from Rebels. What's the or not Rebels, Clone Wars. General Trench. I remember when we first see General Trench, and he's like this spider. He's like a tarantula alien thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes when they introduce new species in Star Wars, I'm just like, what? Really? There's like that whole race of aliens that are basically just velociraptors, and you're like, what? This is lazy, but this worked. In this episode, this worked for me.
Well, we seen him in was the first or second episode too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not in this much.
He was introduced earlier, but we get several nice kind of shots of him, which I think like him as a character, it looks good and he's very interesting. Mm-hmm. But they don't pay him off very well. Like, he never leaves the ship.
No.
We never see him fighting in any capacity, which he probably wouldn't be very good in a gunfight or a fist fight because he's got a limp, but
yeah. So then Carl Weathers reaches out, which I think Carl Weathers realizes that this is kind of a long shot because he's basically told the New Republic to go F themselves, and now he's asking the New Republic for help. So he reaches out. It's probably a fool's hope, but what are you going to do, right? You're going to reach out. I don't know why he didn't start by reaching out to Din. That seemed... I mean, I guess...
Well, he probably didn't know how to get a hold of him.
Well, and he's expecting more of an army versus one guy. Like,
he doesn't know that Din has what kind of pull Din has with Mandalorians. Mm-hmm. Or if the Mandalorians will come and help because of the big shootout they had in the first season.
Yep. And so then the message gets received by what's his face. So they're sitting at this bar with Zeb. and our new Republic X-Wing fighter asks to borrow a 1980s fax machine so that he can put his... The tech looked so old. Like, it looked very Star Wars, but it was like this big, clunky, like, you know, it looked like the first laptops that people had that were like these 10-pound bricks. And then he goes and he tries to convince the New Republic to give us a hand to send people out. And who is this? Who is this actor?
Teva? The character Teva?
The general that he's going to and asking for help from.
Oh, he's a comedian. He's been around.
I know. He's in all kinds of things.
He's got a face that's recognizable, but he's never been a leading role.
And so this is the thing that I think bothers me about some of these Star Wars shows is that we can just, his name is, where is it? We can just start throwing people in. Like, they have all these little cameos. And I don't want to talk about it because we're not going to have spoilers, but it has been spoiled for me who appears in next week's episode.
Yeah, and I've watched next week's episode already.
Yeah, you son of a...
So, I know what you're talking about.
That throws off all of our conversations and the theories that we're allowed to come up with because you already know the answers, you son of a gun. I know the answer. So you're not allowed to theorize about anything, and we need to get better about recording these episodes earlier in the week so that you don't have a chance.
Well, normally we would. We're recording on a Friday, and normally we would have recorded on
Yeah.
Monday before the episode came out.
So.
This
is the thing, though, about these Star Wars shows, is you can just start throwing, like, you could have Ben Affleck show up, you could have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon show up in an episode of Mandalorian in these sort of side, you know, whatever, do it and then throw them away characters, and they're only there for one episode, and it's a fun little cameo.
Right.
And it doesn't really mean all that much. Whereas in true, proper Star Wars, if it came out tomorrow that we're doing Star Wars Episode 10 and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are going to be, that's huge freaking news. Like, that becomes a significant thing. Whereas here, we're just kind of like, you know, all of a sudden, so-and-so is, I guess they're Star Wars canon. Like, the two people who are showing up next week. I guess they're just Star Wars canon. Like, it's no big deal. We're not going to make a deal out of it. And
I agree with this
point
they're just there. 100%. Yeah. Like, especially after watching the episode after this, it feels, and even this episode with this general guy, like, it feels weird to see somebody so recognizable in Star Wars and them not have a more prominent role, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Like, most Star Wars actors, even leading roles, are either complete unknowns or relatively small or and lesser known.
I would say with one exception.
For me, I think that makes the world feel a little more real. When this guy shows up as a general and is kind of playing a role that he normally plays, like he's kind of typecast as this general, whether they wrote the general for him or they changed how the general acts because of him, or he did his own thing with it, whatever, right? Like, you kind of made the general how he normally is in almost every sitcom or movie you see.
When he's like, ooh, it's not looking good. Like, you know, it felt like him.
It feels like the actor and not a person living in this world. In this world, it feels like he's acting. He's an actor. So like next episode when shows up, it's the same thing. It's
stop. Spoilers.
Whatever. People are.
No. I'm.
But anyway, that's the most I'll say. That's the most I'll say. But like, it feels off. Where if they had cast somebody lesser known, the exception to this, I would say, is if these big celebrities play more of a role, want to be in the show, make them an extra.
Right.
Dave Filoni is in this episode.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni and one of the other directors who has directed a couple Mandalorian shows are sitting at the bar across from Zeb and Tiva, having a drink. And Dave Filoni's like wearing his cowboy hat and like a Rebels jacket. Like so like that he's in there. You don't notice it unless you rewind and go and watch it again. But there are several shots where you don't look at him because he's not the predominant thing that's being in the shot, right? Like your eye's not drawn that direction. He's either kind of a little bit blurry in the foreground or he's way off to the side of the screen. But like that's how these like, unless they're cast as like the main lead for the show, then I think they should be relegated to extras.
Because up until this point, the biggest names that we've gotten in Star Wars, like the biggest, if you're looking at the films, the biggest names, there's three people who were a well-known face prior to being in Star Wars. And two of them worked perfectly, and one of them was very jarring. And people are going to go, oh, like Harrison Ford? No, because before Star Wars, like Harrison Ford was not really a household name.
He was a set maker.
yeah, he'd been in American Graffiti, and that was kind of it. So the big names were Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
But it worked because they balanced his character properly.
Yeah. And he was pretty predominant. He wasn't like the main character, but he was main enough that it didn't seem like a bit part.
One that felt odd was Laura Dern in the sequel trilogy. When Laura Dern shows up in The Last Jedi. Just because it's like, oh, it's the girl from Jurassic Park. Like she was in something that was too big to just all of a sudden kind of show up and is sort of a main character of that movie, but like I don't know, for some reason that just felt weird. The other one that was, and this one's going to sound,
character felt weird to begin with.
Yeah, this one's going to sound really strange, but it was a big deal. And you don't see this person's face, so you can get away with it totally, and so it doesn't really count. But this is the other big name that was brought in for Star Wars was Frank Oz. Frank Oz doing the voice and puppeteering of Yoda.
Right.
Because you think about it, this is the 70s. Everybody knows Sesame Street. Everybody knows the Muppets. Like, you may not know that Frank Oz is Miss Piggy and Grover and all these other characters, but Frank Oz was a big, he was also the person that you're going to get. Right? You're like, we need a puppeteer.
If you need a puppeteer of some kind of animatronic, then
it was either going to be Frank Oz or it was going to be Jim Henson. Like that was that was your option. But yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird to have these people showing up. But in this scene, we also get confirmation. You were right, sir. We get confirmation of a theory that we had previously 2 weeks ago, which was. The question was, what the hell is up with, what are the motivations of this chick, the girl that like romances the scientist and then stabs him in the back and brainwashes him?
Yeah. And this is also a nice payoff. I don't think it was worth the major part of an episode, but it's a nice, it does pay off nicely.
And so, we get confirmation that she's definitely still in the pocket of, or a sympathizer or a loyalist to Moff Gideon.
Yeah. And I think this is a good point opportunity to kind of dive into kind of some lore and world building that is done outside of movies and TV. that I didn't really realize till I started watching the breakdown videos for The Mandalorian. But when the Empire was defeated and the Rebel Alliance kind of took control of the galaxy and formed a government, they essentially just did they kind of, in terms of storytelling, they've kind of paralleled what the United not United Nations, but the Allied forces did to Germany after the First World War, which is essentially they just disarmed the Empire. They took all their weapons.
Yeah.
And because the galaxy was so big that any planet that aligned themselves with the Empire, they said, you can still align yourself with the Empire. You just aren't allowed to have any kind of weapons or military.
Yeah, you guys are just losers. Like you're allowed to continue being you, but we're going to strip you of all of your abilities so that you can't cause problems.
Yeah. So which is why there's so many kind of imperial warlords still lurking about. And a lot of these planets are kind of more on the outer rim too, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is all a lot of this is in novelizations that I haven't read myself.
Yeah.
But it's
here. I'll talk. You mute your mic and fix your voice because you're struggling there. This is where, look. So then we kind of move into this battle, and this dogfight in not in space but in like the atmosphere. It's really fun to look at. It's a great fight. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of activity, but there's a couple of things that just make me cringe. There's a couple of things that just drive me up the wall. The first is
Are you talking about the Mandalorians fighting the pirates?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're jumping over the Teva going to visit the Mandalorians and the Mandalorians making their decision.
Yeah, I mean it's okay, we can talk about that. I mean, it's a cool scene.
That's a pretty crucial moment. I
think it's that whole scene to me just feels like set up so that there can be that one great line of them being like, yes, we're going to go because we're Mandalorians, and it's like, okay, yeah, like that's cool. Like it could have gone either way, but I kind of feel like you were creating suspense for no reason because it seemed like there wasn't really much of a decision to happen. Like you kind of knew from the get-go that, yeah, you were going to do it. You don't really have a choice because you are Mandalorians. But maybe you saw it differently.
I don't know. I thought it worked really well.
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't. I was just
I thought again this is like a kind of a payoff moment again from some setup and build up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But again, kind of like with the Imperial sympathizer working within the Republic. the R3 him giving away the location of the Mandos was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah. Okay, so this dogfight. I got two big issues. Issue number one is that when Din and the crew first show up, and the pirate sees Din's ship come in, the first thing that he says, and I mean, I get it. I guess it kind of works, but it just felt like an intentional and on the nose and in your face name drop of the show when the pirate guy goes, "It's the Mandalorian." And I was like, what? Come on. Like, it just felt a little, I mean, I guess that's what the pirate would know him as.
Yeah, would he know him? His name is Din Djarin?
No, but like
yeah, we as viewers didn't realize his name till
for sure.
Almost the end of the first season.
And I still don't like to use it. I just call him Mando, but I don't know. It's just something about it's the Mandalorian. Like it's so stupid.
It's that Mandalorian jerk that blew up a bunch of our ships a couple days ago.
There is one other moment. There's another moment in this trailer that does not make any logistical sense whatsoever, especially because a precedent has been set in the show where we discover that this is not how we handle these situations. And instead, they chose to ignore logic. They chose to ignore common sense and decided to sell toys, decided to sell t-shirts, decided to sell lunchboxes. And that is, if you're going into a firefight where anything could happen, firefights are dangerous business. Why is Grogu simply just sitting on the Mandalorian's lap during this whole fight? Now, look, some people be like, well, where else are you going to put him? We've seen many times where Mando knows that he's going into combat and he either places Grogu on a bigger, safer ship or on a ship that's not going into battle or on a place that like drops him off somewhere along the way so that he's not a part of it. The only reason Grogu is sitting on Din's lap is because the image of little Grogu riding bitch on a on Din's lap inside this fighter is a like that's it. That is, they are riding on and banking on this. Look how cute of a character we've made. You're all obsessed with him. We're going to sell 100 t-shirts. We're going to sell this, that, and the other thing. Like, because to give an example, Brienne just sent off Easter cards to her two nephews, right?
Right.
And they're young nephews. They sent off cards with some pictures in them because I guess they like pictures. So she printed out some pictures of the last time they came to visit and stuff, and also included little sticker books. And one of the little sticker books for one of the nephews is a Baby Yoda, is a Grogu sticker book. Now, this nephew is obsessed with Grogu.
Okay.
But he's like 5. He's never seen The Mandalorian. It's the merchandising power of Baby Yoda. And that's all this shot was, look how cute it is that I have this Baby Yoda on my lap. Probably not even strapped in. Like unless Din has gone ahead and installed some additional uncomfortable against the crotch kind of straps for Baby Yoda, then this is wildly unsafe and inappropriate. That is aside from that, this firefight is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's high energy. It's great. Visually, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think
it's just so dumb.
I agree. So your point about Grogu, I agree it's for merchandising. I think lore wise, it's okay, but at the same time they shoot themselves in the foot a bit in terms of world building, because Grogu is now a Mandalorian foundling. He is a Mandalorian by creed, by right.
Shut your mouth.
And well, he is. You can't deny the fact he is, right? He's Din Djarin's foundling baby. He's
indoctrination has begun. I will concede to that.
I think you give a lot of hate to this the children of the watch.
Oh, I'm excited.
Mando
I am very excited for the end of this episode because I believe that we're headed in the right direction, and it may have been the sapling of the confirmation of one of my theories. So I'm all over this.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, if he's a Mandalorian, he's going to be raised to know and battle and be able to fight well. And part of that is kind of like, if bringing your kid into battle, it is, and even this is like in the old lore, the old canon, this is kind of like what Mandalorians would do, like when appropriate, you bring your kid comes to the battle too, right? So that's what I see this as, but at the same time, they're they shoot themselves in the foot, because where are all the other foundlings in this fight? Mm-hmm. Right? Like,
well, the other foundlings don't sell t-shirts.
Yeah, there's no other foundlings in this fight. So why aren't they there? And you can't kind of use the excuse of, well, Mando didn't have anyone to leave Grogu with.
Absolutely. The armorer didn't come. Stay with the armorer.
The armorer came.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she's the one that took out the turret.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, but still, there's people there.
Where are the other foundlings?
Yeah.
Right? The other foundlings are old enough they can look after him.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, Grogu's in his 50s. So does he really need someone to take care of him?
Yeah. So, yeah, there was obviously a safe place he could have been left. So either Din Djarin is kind of possessive and untrusting of other foundlings, or he just wanted to sell t-shirts. Mm-hmm. So on one side, there is some cool world building that's kind of happening potentially with that, but on the other hand, they don't follow through with it 100%. It would have been really cool to have a few older foundlings that are obviously foundlings, or young Mandalorians that are in this fight too. Yeah. But yeah, the fight as a whole, the dog fight and the ground battle, seeing the Mandalorians like go to town on these pirates, and kind of the battle's not like a one-way swing. Like the Mandalorians just don't come in and sweep through the town and easily take out there are some moments where there's some kind of back and forth, right? Like the first group of Mandalorians, they're cleaning up, and then all of a sudden they get ambushed, and they just barely escape the ambush because some tree monkeys are like, "Hey, look out!"
Exactly.
And then they're pinned down, and then
we're boxed in.
The big guns come down and push forward some more, and then they get pinned down again. So it was a really fun battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the battle happens. We save the day, and everyone's rejoicing. And then Bo-Katan gets informed that the armorer has requested your presence. And Bo-Katan's thinking, "Oh shit!"
Now I'm in for it.
Yeah, what I do?
Got to go to the principal's office.
Yeah, and in a moment that I think shocked everybody. And I didn't understand at first. Like, my reaction was not immediate excitement. My reaction was, what's going on? Was when the armorer looks at Bo-Katan and says, "Remove your helmet." And Bo-Katan's like, what? And the armorer says, "Do you respect do you respect this forge or whatever she says?" Yeah. And Bo-Katan says yes. And the armorer repeats herself, says, "Remove your helmet." And Bo-Katan does it very hesitantly. Like, this is definitely she is an Admiral Akbar moment.
Yeah.
Right? It's a trap. Like, she's like,
this has become her family. It's where, because she's been essentially cast off by her. The Mandalorian clan that she was a part of has essentially thrown her by the wayside, and now she's found a new home. And her new home is asking her to do something that will get her kicked out of her new home.
Her new home. And so she does it. She takes her helmet off, and I just instantly I felt this sigh of relief. I'm like, yes, finally. take off your stupid helmet. Like, just end the oppression. And so she takes her helmet off. And the armorer goes on to explain that almost like the armorer's eyes have been opened. The armorer is able to be a little bit of an outside of the box thinker here for a second and realize that Bo-Katan is in a position where she has lived both lives, where, you know, it's possible that these diehard cultist Mandalorians who have only ever lived that lifestyle are a little less, not perceptive, but don't have the world's knowledge, don't have the mileage, don't have the insight from the other side of things to be able to see the whole picture. And Bo-Katan does. And so Bo-Katan is in a position to be able to go and recruit and unite Mandalorians. And I think this is the start of two things. I think ultimately Bo-Katan is going to become Mandalore. I think that's the writing is on the wall, right? That she is the natural leader. She's the ideal leader because of these things. But also, I want to point out that this scene means more than just what's being said on the surface, because Bo-Katan could be all these things and could be the one to go and unite and do whatever and be sent off to blah, blah, blah. None of that requires her removing her helmet. I didn't require her removing her helmet. Her being told to remove her helmet from the armorer was the armorer kind of widening her perspective, the armorer widening her own perspective, and sort of admitting that there may be more than one way to do this. Oh, there you go. That's deep. There may be more than one way. And so I do believe that this is because I was almost half convinced. It could have gone either way, but while this scene was unfolding, I thought there's a 50% chance that we're about to see the armorer take her helmet off too. And she didn't. But she walks Bo-Katan out in front of all the other Mandalorians with her helmet off. And then I was still like, there's a 50% chance that we're going to start dropping some buckets here. And we didn't. But I do think it's on the horizon. I do. I
don't think it's going to happen.
But then why? Why allow Bo-Katan to do it?
For the reasons that the armorer said. And this was my thoughts when I watched this, and has no bearing on what I've seen for the future. Bo-Katan has walked both worlds. She can't go to the other world adhering to the creed and by the letter of the creed. Like, she can't, you know what I mean? Like, the other side, Mandalorian culture is clan-based, house-based, right? And every house and every clan will follow the creed and a way of life a little bit differently. So the children of the Watch are following the creed to the letter. And they believe that if you're a foundling, as long as you're following the creed, then you are Mandalorian. Where the kind of the clan of the Night Owls that Bo-Katan comes from, and prior to that, Death Watch, they're just as zealous as the children of the Watch, but their zealousy revolves around the Darksaber. Only person wielding the Darksaber can be Mandalorian, and only that person has to be blood Mandalorian to lead.
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's zealousy all over Mandalore. It's just like their adherence to what part is a little bit different. So,
but can you agree?
She's walked both worlds,
right?
She can't go back. She can't recruit the other side that believes you can take your helmet off with her helmet on.
But here's the thing: if she goes and recruits people with her helmet off from the side that doesn't like to keep their helmets on, then they're not going to, like, if she successfully recruits them, they're not going to start keeping their helmets on.
No, so and she won't require them to.
No, so we're already blowing we're already going to blow the doors wide open on the fact that
you're assuming though that
hang on, let me finish. You will have, if her purpose is to go out and recruit people to come back and be a part of the Creed, to unite Mandalore and have everybody, instead of having all these different little individual sort of groups that all have different ideologies and all, whatever, let's unite. And if she's going to recruit these people and not require them to wear helmets, then already that blows the doors wide open, and you will have a united Mandalore where those who keep their helmets on are going to be chummy with, are going to be part of the same group as those who don't keep their helmets on, which has the potential to lead to those who do keep their helmets on start to question, we have other people who are part of our same thing and they don't keep their helmets on, and so maybe keeping my helmet on isn't as important as we thought it was. But either way, if I'm right and Bo-Katan ends up becoming Mandalore, becomes the leader, becomes the one to lead them all into this new era, then if your leader says, if you have a leader whose opinion is you don't got to keep your helmet on, then I don't see how you're not going to see more Mandalorians start to take their helmet off.
So your assumption is on the basis that united clans kind of will cause those clans' beliefs to disintegrate.
Evolve. Not disintegrate,
evolve. And I don't think that's that premise could be taken the other way just as easily. United clans means that they adhere to their own clan beliefs even more firmly to distinguish themselves from the other clans.
Possibly. But again, right? If Bo-Katan ends
United
up becoming
clans
Mandalore,
doesn't mean that they become the one belief system. Now, I don't disagree with the fact that, like, if I'm Children of the Watch and all the clans unite and I'm like, man, I want this no helmet thing. That seems like a good deal.
Yeah.
And I go to another clan and be like, can I join your clan? Well, I'm sure I don't think they're going to get into it because this is a lot of unnecessary world building and time on screen. They might not do it on screen. Maybe they'll do it in a book or a comic book or something. But, like, I would assume that would be possible to, like, change clans. But you would have to be accepted into that clan. Like, if you're a night owl and you want to become part of the Children of the Watch, well, the only way to become a Children of Watch is to go baptize yourself in the living waters and then never take your helmet off.
I think
if you don't do that, you can't join. I think there'll be similar, like, the other clans will have similar prerequisites to be able to join them. The Night Owls might not let you join if you're not a full-blooded Mandalorian. If you're a foundling, too bad. You're stuck with the Children of the Watch. We don't want you.
I think all borders are going to be broken down. I think Bo-Katan's going to be the new leader. I don't think
the borders will be broken down. I think they'll just be merged. They'll just come together.
Well,
separate but together.
We got a gentleman's bet going, and we've literally only got. I'm going based on a recent announcement. I'm going to assume we have one more season of Mandalorian, and then the movie. Because for those that don't know, it has been announced that Dave Filoni will direct a film that will tie up and bring a conclusion to the Din and Grogu storyline. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing like based on how long it takes to get a season and XYZ, I'm guessing we've got one more season of Mandalorian. I'm guessing season 4 will be the last episode of the show, and then we'll have the film.
We'll probably get like a season of Mandalorian and then a season called The Book of Bo-Katan or something.
Yeah,
and
some stupid shit. Yeah.
But I don't. As far as that thing goes, yeah. I think we definitely have a different opinion a bit, I guess.
And then we see what is it, TiVo? Is that his name?
Tiva? He's
just, bumming through space, doing his thing, falling asleep at the stick, as I would imagine you would do in...
Well, he's probably more than likely tracking down some leads.
Yeah, but...
he probably didn't just happen upon this ship.
And all of a sudden, he sees a very familiar-looking ship. We've seen this many times in Star Wars before, a landing shuttle. And it's in rough shape, to say the least. The cockpit's been breached. There's a big hole in the side of it where a blaster's obviously hit it. And all of the people inside of it are New Republic sickles. And we see, I get fuzzy sometimes. I get weird sometimes about not adjusting canon, but adding new little bits into canon that we already... Like, you have to be careful when you do this type of thing, when you're like, oh, this thing that you've known for 45 years now? I bet you didn't know this about it. This worked for me, though.
With this.
The astromech probe.
Oh.
When all of a sudden we find out that astromechs, that eye that pops up that we've seen many times, that sucker comes out. That's a probe, and it can go. And it's just like if you just tack it on to the list of things that astromechs can do. Like, look at all the things you've seen R2-D2 do in the past. Astromechs have got to be the most advanced piece of technology in the entire galaxy.
They're pretty cool.
They are the Swiss Army knife of droids. They're truly incredible.
I think they've always been that. And I don't think I have a problem with this. I look at this as more of like this is an upgrade or a more advanced droid. Like, I don't think R2-D2 could have ever done this.
I don't know, man. R2 was constantly whipping out new tricks.
Yeah, but like he used his thruster jets once in Attack of the Clones.
And in Revenge of the Sith.
Did he use them in Revenge of the Sith? He used them briefly at the beginning to light some grease on fire. To light the oil,
yeah.
Yeah. But then, like, why doesn't he ever use them again? We never see him use them again.
Because he didn't need to.
So, like, did he get downgraded? Did he never refuel them? Did something happen to them? So, but in canon, there are a wide variety of astromechs. Like R3, who we see in this episode, who ratted out the Mandalorians.
It's true. R2 is only an R2 unit. There are much newer models.
So like there's all kinds of... So this could be a very new model of an astromech droid.
Yeah.
With all the bells and whistles, right?
But still, man.
Or it could be a very fancy upgrade that only exists kind of post Civil War.
I mean, Obi-Wan had the most advanced model, right? Obi-Wan had an R4 unit.
Yeah.
So, yes. And do we ever see an R5? I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe this is an R5. What did he call it? What did he name it?
I don't know. You said R3, so I'm just going off that.
Well, R3, it wasn't R3 in his X-Wing fighter, though.
I don't know.
He didn't take R3 with him.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he talks to it and tells it.
There is okay, so there are 6 series of astromechs. There's R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, and R6. I guess that's 7 series of them. Yeah, there are 7 different series. The one that Poe Dameron uses is an R6 when he doesn't have BB-8.
Right.
I got some Wikipedia reading to do later today. Huh. Cool.
I'm just going to Google his astromech.
R5 has the flat top.
Carson Teva's astromech is an R7.
R7? That's not on Wikipedia. That's bullshit. R7s don't exist.
That's the first thing that comes up is starwars.fandom.com. R7.
It's bullshit.
R7, Carson Teva.
I mean, these are also, it's, you know, maybe this is the first time we've seen one, and so
Wikipedia hasn't updated.
Yeah, someone's got to get in, and you can't just start throwing shit in. You know, Wikipedia, it's pretty solid, so you got to get, like, you got to know the facts. You got to, like, do a little digging here and find out, like, okay, what do we know and what don't we know? Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So
he finds out that Buddy Boy got either sprung or captured.
Yeah, Moff Gideon, which has been his ongoing theory. Has been his ongoing theory. Like back when he's talking with all of the people
in the bar.
He's like, he's been hot on the trail of the fact that Moff Gideon never made it to trial.
Yeah.
So this is confirmed, and there is a little bit of Beskar that's been kind of lodged into the wall. Now, this could be their assumption. Then is like, is this confirmation that that Moff Gideon was sprung by Mandalorians? I don't think it is necessarily confirmation. It could be, it could be a frame job.
It's a yes and a no, I think. Like they've got potential to go anywhere with this. It doesn't give us a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Rebels, you learn that there are a number of Mandalorians who end up falling in line and working for the Empire. They become Imperial super commandos.
Yeah.
So was he sprung by Mandalorians? I think the answer is yes, most definitely. But we don't know if maybe it was the Night Owls or some other group of Mandalorians who are pissed off at him because he destroyed their planet, and they want to kill him. So maybe he was captured by Mandalorians to be tortured and killed or whatever. Maybe he was sprung by Mandalorians who are still kind of Imperial sympathizers. We don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a third option there we're not considering. Maybe they're just Imperials who have Beskar armor and weapons.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is a potential.
The Empire had control of Mandalore and stripped it of its resources, so they got to have a stockpile of Beskar somewhere, and they're doing something with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not just leaving that in a vault for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the episode. So, Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, is this a win or a fail for you?
I think overall it's a win. Yeah. I liked the payoffs for the Imperial spy lady. I liked the payoff for R3 a little bit. Kind of, it makes those earlier episodes where we see them less like looking back now as like a whole product of Mandalorian season 3, it makes those other episodes more palatable in hindsight. Like if you're going to rewatch it and you know that what's coming, you're like, oh, this is cool. Okay, we're learning that this Imperial sympathizer is a spy. She is kind of working within the system to help the Empire and the new, what will become the First Order, happen.
Which I never had an issue with that other episode. You were like, this doesn't make any sense. It's got nothing to do with anything. It shouldn't be here. And I was like, nah,
I was hoping for payoff, and I feel like I've gotten it. I feel like I'm hoping for more still. I don't think I'll get any more. I think that was it.
Unless we find out more about, like, I need to follow up with that scientist. I need to find out just how bad the damage is that's been done.
To his mind.
Yeah, and what kind of shape he's in.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, so there's, it was, so the payoffs were nice. Like, why did he have to get R3 when any other astromech it could have been any other astromech? Okay, the payoff that he'll eventually rat out the children of the Watch because they're hidden away so well, so that they can come save the day. All right, that works. All right, that's I can dig that. Right. I think that was a better payoff than the Imperial spy. But anyway,
cool.
Yeah, I think it was a win.
Cool.
And how about you? You already said it was a win, but go into it for us.
Ultimately, I think it was a win. Like I said, there's like some major issues there. Like, why the hell is Grogu sitting on your lap, you irresponsible deadbeat dad? Stuff like the good luck, you're gonna need it. Like, come on, use some different words. Like, those words have been said. And then really only that other moment was the it's the Mandalorian. Like, thank you. Forgot what show I was watching. You brought me up to speed there. Yeah, ultimately, I think it's a win. It's not the worst episode of a Star Wars show we've gotten. And, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed down below. It's a way to get in touch with us and vote on our votes so you can choose what movies we're going to watch and review next. Patreon, for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and get some fun perks, including having increased voting power on the previously mentioned votes there. Done to, the ones there that tell you what we're going to watch and review. And merch. If you like wearing things or having things, then we got you covered. And as a bonus, it's got our logo on it. So
maybe we'll make a Grogu shirt.
Maybe we will get sued.
It'll have a picture of Grogu and somewhere on it it says, "I'm just here to sell merchandise."
I'm just here to sell merch. Exactly. All right. Well, until we convene next week to talk about the next episode. This is the way.
This is the way.
But I think there might be more than one way. So,
well, there's definitely more than one way. That's why there's many clans.
And hopefully we're going to explore and embrace some other ways.
This is the way, but that's also the way. And this could be the way too.